Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amrutangamaya Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. O Lord, please lead us from unreality to the reality, ignorance to the knowledge, and from death to immortality. Oh, peace, peace, peace. Dear devotees, today we are having an interesting topic to discuss about. Of course, it is quite interesting for me, no doubt. It reminded me of my earlier studies about classical Eastern philosophy and Western philosophy. But I don't know. Today it can be very high dosage. How many of you can enjoy or understand and appreciate this abstract concepts can it be? Now, before going to that, this talk is based on Swami Vivekananda's practical Vedanta. He starts with universals and particulars about it straight away, Swamiji, with a strong batsman looks like. Now, what is this universe and particulars about? When we probably, if you get little background, then you'll be able to understand and you'll be able to appreciate it. Now, if you see in a human, whoever is uh, feel enough with these mundane affairs, having money, having children, having sense gratification, basically, and who wants to think more or who wants to rise himself above the sense gratification or sense level, then he goes to the intellectual level. So he starts thinking about concepts, ideas, or abstracts, even for that matter. For example, Socrates had a very interesting nature. And when there's an epistemological work, Greek philosophy, there it is called, the work is called Theaetetus. Theaetetus is named after a person. He was a great mathematician. And I think he was a disciple of Theodorus or Euclid. The conversation goes very interestingly there. Socrates meets this Theaetetus. And in those days, Theaetetus was a young chap, well known for his mathematics knowledge. Then Socrates asks, "My dear Theaetetus, do you know?" Theaetetus was very proud of his knowledge. He says, "Yes, I know." Okay. What do you know? Or what is the knowledge? Oh, I've got a lot of knowledge. I know a lot of things. Theaetetus says so. Socrates says, "Fine, well, but I fear that I don't know. But anyhow, because I know that I've heard that you know, what do you know? Kindly let me know." Theaetetus says, I know geometry, I know arithmetics, I know algebra, etc. He says. Then Socrates comes with a very interesting statement that, okay, these are the branches of knowledge. So I am asking you, what do you know about knowing or knowledge in itself? That's called epistemology work or episteme. Episteme means knowledge. Then Theater scratches his head. What? I know so much, and you were asking what is knowledge? Yeah, arithmetics, algebra, analytical geometry, or any other things. These are all the knowledge. So I know all of them. Socrates says, "Yes, my dear, these are all branches of knowledge. I am asking you, what is the knowledge in itself?" Then he starts scratching his head, and they will have a beautiful conversation, theory of meaning, theory of anamnesis, and so many things comes. It is a wonderful epistemological work. Like this, there are few philosophers or the thinkers who takes the abstract ideas, abstract concepts, and they keep on thinking what it is. Now, there are philosophers in India, in Rome, or a Greek, or Israel, or even in Ireland. Especially, Ireland is known for the land of monks. It was a very spiritual country in earlier medieval time. So they started thinking, is there any unitary existence? Means there is something by which everyone can be connected, or everything can be connected. Just like we have got a necklace which is made up of pearls. Now there are different pearls. All the pearls are connected with a thread. So similarly, we have got so many individual beings, human beings, animals, birds, insects, reptiles, different phylums, we can say. Is there any common connection between all of them? Is there any unitary existence behind all of them or among all of them? Very interesting. Sometimes it can be boring, but it is really worth to know. So this type of suprasensual and very pure thinking started with quite a few people, which they are termed as philosophers. So when they started thinking, what is there something common, which or something is there any separateness or commonness? That's how this notion of universals and particulars came into existence. Now, there are, for example, there's a beautiful uh, area with full of grass, lush green grass, which runs about around 3 to 4 hectares, acres. Then there are a group of animals which they are gazing. Okay, so there are cows, there are goats, there are sheep, lambs or camels, whatnot. Now all of them are one or different. Yes, it can be now we can be classified into all of them are animals. So as a point of animal, all of them are can be categorized in under one group. This is what they mean universals. And the second is okay, cows. All cows are one. That cowness is there because of that. All cows are being classified under one group. And the other is camels, because there is a camel nest is there, which is universal. That's why it is considered as one group. But compared to cowness and camel or animal nest, because there is animal nest in all of them, they are classified as one group. But there's a camel nest, there is a cow nest, there is a sheep nest. They are called particulars. That's why they are also separated as a different groups. That's how these universals and particulars came into existence. Now, the question may come for all of us, how can we use this in our day to day life? Today morning, just a devotee had called and she was talking or discussing with this, and she was saying that, I mean, their parents are growing a dragon fruit. Dragon fruit, they're growing and they're growing in a tons. I mean, maybe like one truck, two truck in a week or two, they're sending. They have got a good high yield and they're selling. And asked, okay, how do they sell? But they say, Swamiji, the dragon fruits are dumped in a truck and the whole truck will be weighed, and based on that, they are paid. And afterwards, she made an interesting comment that after putting into the market, when they purchase from us, from the farmers, then afterwards, they categorize the dragon fruits: grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, grade 4. Now, as dragon fruits, as a dragon fruit nest is there, that's called universals, they're all put under one chamber or put under one group. Then afterwards, grade 1, which are a very big in shape and which are very good, and there are no any damage to the fruit. So that's the grade 1. And comparatively less in size, less in probably juice or pulp or whatever, grade 2, and still more inferior, grade 3, still more inferior, which is bit damaged. They are, what do you say, classified as grade 4. So afterwards, they may grade 1 different bags, grade 2 different box, grade through different packing, grade 4 different packing, and based on that, they will sell. Ratings are also different. Now you see, as a dragon fruit, all of them are one as universals, and based on their quality and their size or whatever, they are also categorized as particulars, and afterwards they are sold. And knowingly or unknowingly, these universals and particulars are being used for from human being in day-to-day affair. Now, this universals and particulars is used by philosophers where what is the commonality between all the cows? If you ask, there is a cowness, the essence which is called cowness. Because of that, they are called cows. And at the same time, in the cows itself, there are different breeds. Because of the different breeds, which is called particulars, they are classified under categories. Say, for an example, Europe. As Europeans can be brought under universals. Then Irish people, Germans, French, then Dutch people, Portuguese. So all them can be classified as particulars. Like these universals and particulars are being used in day-to-day thing. Now this is used where? This is used in idealism, realism, neo-realism, it is starting from Plato, Aristotle, and etc. Now, for example, beauty. Beauty is a concept. Beauty is an idea. according to the idealist philosophy. There is a school of philosophy in the Western philosophy. Beauty is an idea, it is a property which is constructed in the mind and which is universal in nature. Because it is constructed in the mind, I'm able to see outside and which is universal in nature. That's what idealists talk about. And the realists say that no, beauty doesn't stay in the mind. Beauty stays or exists in the things, because beauty is a property of a substance. It is independent of mind. Now, there are some good, valid arguments based on idealists, because, for example, you brought a rose flower. I like it, and I say rose flower is so beautiful, isn't it? No, someone doesn't like rose flower. Most of us we like, but still he doesn't like, he or she doesn't like. They say, I believe lotus is much beauty or much beautiful than the rose. Now, so from idealists say, you see, beauty is in the universal concept which is in the mind. It doesn't stay in the things itself. Idealists say. Realists say, oh, maybe, but beauty is a part of the, what do you say, object. Probably he doesn't have the aesthetic sense, so he's unable to understand the beauty in the rose. That's why he's saying that rose is not beauty. So that's what do you say, the clash between the idealism and realism, it happens. Anyhow, now this idealism and realism, when it comes to philosophy, how does it make sense? That's where we have to understand now. Now we are four or five people. We are sitting here now. What is the commonality between all of us? This is called humanness or humanity. As from the humanness or from the humanity, we are all one. And at the same time, because of our nature or because of our country of origin or because of our probably distinct character, we have got, every one of us, we have distinct character. Because of that, we are all different also, isn't it? Now, when it comes to philosophy, what is this universal? The philosophers say the universal is an abstract concept. Maybe for us, that universal truth is what? That is what God or the self or consciousness. So that consciousness exists in every being. Animal, maybe bird, maybe human being, maybe whatever it may be, whatever any living beings, the consciousness exists in all of them. That's why we are all called beings. That existence is what self or consciousness or God, whatever you can say, that is what the universal. Now, the universal, how in philosophy is used, the universal is called as God or self or consciousness or truth. Okay. What about the particular? No, okay. Myself and you, both of us, we have got consciousness. By consciousness, both of us, we are one and the same. But in reality, pragmatically, in day-to-day thing, we see that we are not same. I like something, you don't like it. And I get up at early morning and I do work that is better for me. And you may say that, oh no, late night I can do, but early morning getting up is very difficult for me. I like something, you dislike it. Then there is a lot of differences between us. Then how? Oh, because there are some particulars between us, because of our mind or because of our nature, because of our tendencies or whatever. So we are called particulars because we are called particular individuals, which is called individuality or jivatma. There is a universality among all us, like consciousness. From the tendency or from the impressions, we are all individuals. Now the discussion comes, then what is the relationship between the universal and particular? Are the universals are true or not? Particles are true or not? Which are true and which are false? Here discussions comes, and a lot of discussion happens in the philosophical schools or in the philosophical studies. Now, Advaita Vedanta, or I will take from the dualistic schools of Vedanta, Dvaitin say, yes, the God is a universal, no doubt, and the consciousness exists in all of us, no doubt, but we are all different because of the particularism, the particular Visheshana, we say in Sanskrit, that individuality, it exists in every one of us, so we are all different. There can be some commonality, but we are all different. And God is different, I am different, you are different, we all are different. So the relationship between universal and particular all is identity with a difference, with complete difference. That's what the dualistic schools of Vedanta say. Now, qualified monoism, Vishishtadvaita, they say, yeah, but the thing is, I am separate from God, but there's an identity with the God. What is that identity? I am the part of the God. God is universal. God is the universal truth, no doubt, but I am the part of the God. Just like we have got human body, my hand is a part of my body, my hands or my head is a part of my body. So similarly, I the individual being or you the individual being, we are all the part of the God. So the particulars are the part of the universals. This is what the qualified monoists they speak. Now when it goes to classical philosophy, when we read a lot of heavy discussions are there, I'm oversimplifying and just I'm trying to put in front of you. Now when it comes to non-dualism, that's Advaita Vedanta say, the universalism alone is true. There's only one truth. You can call God, you can call self, you can say consciousness, you can say universality or whatever. That alone exists, and that is appearing as difference, that is appearing as change, that appearing as changeless or whatever. There is only one truth. So then what is the difference between the universality and universals and particulars? Only universals are there. Universals are appearing as particulars because of our mind or because of our sense organs or whatever. Now the other extreme, the Buddhists say there is no universals at all. Because you cannot say that, for example, they give an example, for example, river. And you say that there's a beautiful river, I'm seeing it. Then the Buddhists say, are you seeing the same river? Yes, I'm seeing the leafy river, same river. Then he says, no, you are wrong. Because whatever you saw, the water body or water part A, if you see, then in 5 minutes, that water has gone further and some other new water has come. So there is a series of feelings, series of perceptions. There is a series of similar perceptions. That's why you feel that you are seeing the same river, but in fact, it is not so. So there is no universality at all. There are only particulars. So, and the corollary of that, they bring that there is no eternality, there is only change. The change is the reality for them. Now, Advaita Vedantins say, no, 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 no. So, to perceive the change, you should need an comparatively more eternal or eternal thing. Without eternal as a base, you cannot perceive the change. So that's how the discussion between the particles and substances and qualities and the soul and the self and the body and all the perceptions, many things keeps on coming in the classical philosophy, which are very interesting. And the Vedantins comes also one more argument is the individual soul. Then what about there are different souls we speak or different selves. And there are individuals, it is appearing, but come in actually all of us, we have got only one reality. There's a consciousness and so many individuals, there are only so many reflecting mediums. Just for an example, there's a full moon day and we kept 100 mirrors. Now, when we keep 100 mirrors, we see 100 suns, 100 moons, sorry, 100 moons. Does it mean that there are 100 moons? No, there's only one moon. But my experience says there are 100 moons. Yeah, there are 100 reflections of the one moon. Similarly, every body, every being is a reflection of that consciousness. Consciousness is only one, which is universal in nature. The individuality means it is indivisibility. That's what they say. And that appear on the individuality or separateness, etc., etc. It is only an appearance because of the mind and sense organs. Otherwise, it is not so. Now the Buddhists say there is no soul, permanent soul, there is no eternality, there's only change is constant. And interestingly, in the Greek philosophy also, there's an Heraclitus. Heraclitus says everything is in flux. So the flux is only the reality. Flux means change. All these things are discussed. Now, when we go much more into deep into Advaita Vedanta, sorry, in Advaita Vedanta or Buddhism, now how do we understand the reality, or is there any eternal thing which is unchangeable? That's where the universals and particulars go still more deep into studies. Now, the Advaita Vedantin, the non-dualistic philosopher, he argues. Now, look, there is a fruit. Fine. There is so much change is happening in the fruit, no doubt. Isn't it? The change is happening in the fruit, there is no doubt, but they're all qualities. But there is something, substance, which is unchanging. In everything, there's an unchanging something, reality is there, which probably you are not able to perceive, but it is there. That's what he says. So behind the qualities, there is something, substance, which is unchanging, and in that unchanging substance all these qualities what you say sustain or reside. How to make us still understand it? For an example, red cow. Now, when I say red cow, red colored cow, we know that. Okay, cow is a substance. If you take, then red, there is a red color skin or whatever, hair or whatever you say, because of the substance only, the qualities are able to perceive. Qualities cannot exist independently without substance, which is very interesting. Now, red rose, for an example. Now there is a rose substance. That's why there is a red color in that we say red. Without rose, can we perceive red? No. So without substance, no qualities are able to perceive. So all these particulars are nothing but qualities, and the universals is nothing but a substance, eternal substance. That's why without substance we cannot perceive the reality. So similarly, without universal, no particulars has been perceived. That's what the Advaita Vedantin says. And also afterwards he says that, for example, now when I was born, I was a baby, and when I was a small baby of 3 years or 5 years or 6 years, I had some perception about myself. I'm so and so on, whatever. Then slowly, I grew up and adolescence has happened. Then I went to adolescent, then adult, then middle age, then say I'm now old age. Now from my childhood to old age, there are so many changes has happened in my body and mind, perceptions, understanding with my body, with my mind, with my emotions, feelings. Fine. But there is a notion of I. I of yesterday, I of day before yesterday, the notion of I with few months before, the notion of I with 10 years before, the notion of I as of now, the notion of I will be of tomorrow or after 10 years. There is a constant I, the notion of I, which is a constant. That is what we say consciousness. So there's a constant reality. Because of that constant reality, we are able to perceive all these changes. That's what Advaita Vedantins brings argument to prove the existence of the self, which is eternal, which is called Satchit Ananda, existence, consciousness, bliss absolute. Now, very interestingly, Buddhists very nicely, they're very good logists. They brings a very logical in understand. I mean, what do you say? Negation. You say I of today, I of yesterday, and day before yesterday, I of tomorrow, and day after tomorrow. You say that is same. From what angle? Your body is continuously changing. You may be aware or not. It is changing. Your mind is changing. Your perception of the reality is changing. Your notion of understandings are changing. When you were small, the notion of I or the notion of understanding yourself, and now notion of understanding now as yourself. And when you are old age, probably the notion of understanding yourself is completely changing. Then how can you say that there is a constant reality called I? It is not so. Then the Advaita Vedantin say, yes, whatever you are saying, there is a constant change of I. That I is referring to the body and mind. With respect to body, with respect to mind, with respect to some quality, whatever. But there is a I means what I mean to say. I refers to, I mean, awareness. I am aware of change all the time. I may be conscious or unconscious, but there is an awareness which is a constant. From my birth to death, there's a constant awareness is there, which is unchanged. I am speaking of that awareness, which is universal in nature, which is eternal in nature. Without that, we cannot understand the whole phenomena of our life. There, I think Buddhists, they couldn't, though they do not accept, they only come with the argument saying that, well, but we cannot really perceive through our sense organs and mind the eternality, and we cannot explain, we cannot define. So better, I will not accept it. You may accept, but I will not accept, because it cannot be described through words, it cannot be perceived by mind or sense organs. So they say that we don't accept, and they say that's where the void they call shunya. It is a void, we don't know what it is. It is completely void, they say. And Advaita Vedantin say, when which is that awareness is with full of positivity, that awareness is with full of light, the awareness is with full of strength and vigor and positivity and happiness and bliss. Why you want to call it as a word? Let me call it as Ananda, bliss. So this is the one fine difference between the Buddhist and Advaita Vedantins. They say the void itself is reality. Finally, they come to the conclusion saying that the void itself is reality. The Buddhists, then the Advaita Vedantins or non-dualistic philosophers say the bliss is the reality. The existenceness is the reality, and that awareness, the constant awareness, is the reality, which is more positive and which is assertive and positive and which is with full of strength and vigor. So, to understand and experience that notion of reality and that unchangeable reality, this universals and particulars was brought into philosophical thing. Now, the one question may come for all of us: why do we need all these things? Okay, you say that there's a one something eternal reality, okay, and this is what eternal reality. Now, some may accept, some may not accept. Now, this I want to be eternal, this is the hidden desire in all of us. For example, in Indian mythology, if you know, if you whoever studied, you will know that like some demons or some people, they did lot of penance for years together. And when the god appeared, oh my dear, you did lot of penance. What do you wish? What do you need? He used to say, let me live eternally. I should not die. So please bless me. Then the Lord used to say, oh, that is out of question. Whoever takes birth, he has to die. So there is no question of that. Then they used to take permutation combination. By this I should not get death. By that I should not get death or whatever. But finally they used to die. Now that's the reason we would like to go to heaven also. Why? Because in heaven I can be eternally happy. In hell, eternally I'll be suffering. In heaven, I will be eternally happy. So this I should live or I should exist eternally. This desire, this notion, this uh, feeling is there very much inbuilt in all of us. So that desire, that notion has been taken out from the philosophers, and they discuss and they say that eternality cannot be achieved by having the body, by having a good body, by having a good mind, by having a wealth, by having a power, position, name, fame, all these things. Then by what we can have? By experiencing who am I, by experiencing the awareness. I'm awareness of so many things. For example, I am aware of the people who are sitting and listening to my lecture, and you are all aware of myself, isn't it? I am aware of so many things, isn't it? But there is an awareness itself. So that awareness itself is I. We should hook onto it. The moment when you hook onto it, then what happens? All the changes you'll be able to see, you'll be able to understand, but you will be happy. How? This is where the Buddha's philosophy comes. Let go things. For example, when we are struggling with so many problems, likes and dislikes, sometimes favorable situations, sometimes unfavorable situations, sometimes profit, sometimes success in my life or in my job or in my business is happening. So many ups and downs are happening, and we are tousled between all these ups and downs and dualities. Our mind gets strengthened and we get morose, we get dejected or whatever. Buddha says that, oh, this eternal reality, let you just start thinking this too shall pass. Okay, now some happiness, some unhappiness has come, unfavorable circumstances has come, sorrow or misery has come. Yes, so your mind has been really getting shaken by this. Now, at that given point of time, Buddha asks us, just keep thinking that this too shall pass. Means what? Whatever this notion, whatever this problem is there, it doesn't stay eternally. This will go away. This gets dissolved. This gets moved. So keep moving it. This is very promising for us, no doubt. Oh, it gives a lot of solace. But this too shall pass also should be accepted and practiced when favorable situation comes. Here only we have got problems. When favorable situation comes, when profit comes, or when all happiness is comes, you may enjoy, no doubt. But at that given point of time, you should be able to think that this too shall pass. Good and bad comes and goes. Right and wrong comes and goes. Profit and success comes and goes. Then I can be happy at all these times. So this is what the universal reality. Now the Advaita Vedantins is asking for us to go one step further. He's saying that, look, all these ups and downs, whatever you are speaking, whatever all these dualities are speaking, it is all with respect to your body and mind. Now you are non-dual nature. What is that? Consciousness, awareness, which is non-dual in nature. Hook on to that awareness, then all these problems may come, may go, you are not bothered. Just for an example, I'll give one more example, you'll be able to understand. Now, I was just playing in the water. I was playing in a small river or a stream. I was just playing and I was enjoying. And one of my friend came along with me. He said, no, I fear for water. So just I will sit on the bridge and I'll be seeing you and you go and play in the small river or stream. Okay, I was playing and I was enjoying with one of my friend. and one friend is sitting on the bridge, on the bridge above the river or stream, and we are playing. And suddenly, unfortunately, somewhere some gutter water was got connected to the river or stream, and that gutter river, got mixed in the river, and that water was coming. Now, just maybe 100 meters or 50 meters distance, we saw that some bad water, some dirty water is coming. Now, just definitely, we don't want to play in that the dirty water. We started coming. We started moving to go to bank. But because of the distance and because of the loss of time or whatever, before even getting away from this river or a stream, the gutter water just passed the place where we are standing, and all that gutter water also crossed our body, and we started feeling bad smell, foul smell, or whatever. Now you see, first time before that I was enjoying. Now I am feeling very dejected, very bad, very morose. Oh, why did I get into the water? My friend who was on the bridge, he's a really lucky person, intelligent person, because he didn't get into this dirty water. Then probably I may go to some bathroom somewhere, and I try to get freshen up, then put soap water and etc etc. Then uh, I get ready. Now I enjoyed, and sometime I'm suffered. Now the person who was on the bridge, just he was a witness of my both mental status. When I was enjoying, he was a witness, and when I'm suffering, he's a witness. So this role of witness has to be practiced from us more and more. By that, what happens? I can be happy, I can be blissful at all given time. That is what we mean consciousness. That's what we mean awareness. So these universals and particulars, whatever we discussion now, Herbert Spencer, Frederick Harrison, and so many people have discussed so many things about this universals and particulars in Western philosophy also, which I will not be going. But when you take away message from these universals and particulars, what will happen? Hook on to that universal. There can be so many dualities, particulars, but I am that universal in nature. And if you can hook on to that awareness, if you can hook on to that consciousness, what happens? Then I can be happy at all given point of time. Simple, for example, till 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock, we had a beautiful sunny day. Now, in Ireland, any sunny day means it is a, what you say, it is a feast for most of us. We feel so happy. Oh, today sunny day, etc. Probably we may go and we stay out, we will play and all. Then after some time, cloudy and drizzling. Oh my God, sun is not at all gracious on us. He went away. Clouds have covered the sun, and cloudy and gloomy weather. Since there is a gloomy weather, my mind also started feeling gloomy. Morning because sunny, I was also feeling bright, and now because there's a gloomy weather, I am also feeling gloomy. Now that's how we feel many of the time when there's a change in the weather, change in the external circumstances, we get easily affected. Why? We are part and parcel of this nature, no doubt. That's what it happens with animals also. But if you want to get away from this thing, you should be able to accept both, and you can enjoy them, never mind, but you can be away from all these things. Even there is a change in the atmosphere, but you can be unchanged. That is not the insensibility. That is not something like like a log of wood. It doesn't have any feelings or notions. It is not like that, but rather it is overcoming all these dualities and staying happily. When we get problem, we we are bound to think that, oh, because of X, because of Y, because of A, or because of V, I'm suffering. If they were right, if they were good, I would not have suffered. If my wife was good, I would not have suffered. And wife says, my husband, if he has been good natured, my life would have been happy, blissful. And I'm working, and my boss, if he's good, I would have happy. And boss thinks if my workers are good, I will be happy. So like this, we keep on complaining about others and etc. Isn't it? So we are trying to change the world. We are trying to change the people. We are trying to change the circumstances. And most of the time, it is not possible. And we keep on struggling. At some point of time, we feel, oh, this is what the life is, world is. We get dejected unnecessarily. So instead of that feeling that helplessness and accepting, instead of that, the Vedanta says that hook on to that awareness which is in you and which is your real nature, that is called universal or whatever. So if you hook on to it, all these changes may happen, but that doesn't change you, that doesn't alter you. You can be happy at all given circumstances. There can be favorable circumstances, there can be unfavorable circumstances. There can be a good boss, there can be a, difficult boss or whatever. In all of these things, we will have some ups and downs mentally, no doubt. We are all human beings. We are not a log of wood or a stone. But for the larger picture, our mind will be constant. I will be happy, I will not be stressed, and I will be blissful. This is what Advaita Vedanta is asking us to achieve. That's why it is called practical Vedanta. Okay, when the Vedanta says that I am that self, I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am not the thoughts, I am not the feelings, or I am not the emotions, I am that eternal self. Okay, what is the so that by understanding, what do I get it? If you ask, the Vedanta says the moment you understand and the moment you start experiencing it, then no one can shake you, no one can disturb you, no one can alter you. You can be happy at all given point of time. Now, the again, in quote and unquote, that is, we don't expect a perfect world. We can't expect. If you expect, it is our own problem. There is no perfect world at all, and there's no perfect situation, either working place or family or whatever. Things will be like this. The problems were there, the problems are there, the problems will be there. Challenges were there, challenges are there, challenges will be there. But in spite of all these things, one can live happily. Like our forefathers, 50 years, 80 years before that, a lot of challenges, physical challenges. They had to walk for a few kilometers. They had to fetch the water from a well or a pond or whatever. And they had to do a lot of physical work, hardships, and whatever the what you say arrangements we have got. So many trade and commerce and computer, internet and phones. All these things we have got privileges. They didn't have. They had a lot of physical challenges, but they didn't have a mental challenges. Now we don't have physical challenges because of the technology and science, but we have got a lot of mental challenges. Or because of the mobile and internet and TV and Netflix and whatnot. Because of that, our minds are getting easily distracted. So controlling the mind, concentrating the mind on something for 10 to 20 minutes, it has become a highly challenge for children and for youngsters. Why? Because of the so many things are available at our on our palm. There are a lot of mental challenges and emotional challenges and etc. So the challenges exist, only it takes different forms at a different part of the society. So we cannot really expect the perfect world, because the perfect world is in Ethiopia. Swami Vivekananda says there was no perfect world, there is no perfect world, there will be no perfect world. World will have its own ups and downs. It is like a dog style. Now, in the midst, how can I attain the perfection? How can I attain happy and blissful at all given point of time? That's what the Vedanta asks us to think and to practice. So, when you understand that when I'm eating, I'm sleeping, I am studying, I am working in the garden and whatnot, in all that there is called I, that I is not body, that I should not refer to body and mind, that I should refer to self, which is eternal, which is universal, which is awareness. So hook on to that, then so many things comes and goes. You will be what do you say, undisturbed. That's where the Vedanta is saying that you are a substance, you are the reality, you are that awareness. Hook on to it, understand it, and experience it. The more and the sooner, the better. Why? Because you are the changeless reality. Because of that only we are able to perceive the change. Otherwise, you can't really perceive. Anyhow, and nomina and phenomena I had discussed earlier. If you remember, nomina and phenomena, this also we can take up the, I mean, as an one more abstract concept to yeah, think about the self. Now, everything is limited in this earth or in the life or in the society, but I am that unlimited. Now, again, I means not this body and mind, that self or awareness. So, the more and more you go to subtle, the more and more you go to your awareness or consciousness, then you will start seeing the things in a witness. Yeah, some people came and went, and some people scolded, some people praised. Fine, but I am undisturbed. That is what the role of witness. So, in all the great people's life, they had such a iron will. Why? Because they were practicing this witness. If we can practice the witness at every given point of time, what happens? I can live blissfully. I can live happily. You need not to change the world. You need not to change people. You need not to change anything. You can change yourself and understand that you are the changeless. If that is the case, if you once you establish it, then you will be eternally happy. That's what we want. Eternally want to be happy or blissful. We are struggling for that, but we are struggling externally in some opposite, in opposite. I mean, men is trying with woman, woman is trying with man, with power, position, name, fame, etc., etc. Advaita Vedanta says they're all, you get a fraction of happiness in all of them. The real happiness is a new itself, and that is your real nature. Understand that, experience it, and stop chasing for the happiness in the external world. So the moment when you stop chasing the happiness in the external world and start looking into in your inside and experience it, then no one can shake you, nothing can disturb you. So that's a beautiful state of bliss, unalloyed bliss. So may God bless all of us, so that let us try to understand the that unalloyed bliss. I am that unalloyed bliss. I am that existence. I am that universality or indivisibility, and I am that pure soul or pure self or eternal self, which is with full of happiness and with full of bliss. So this ends our practical Vedanta series. Probably next week I will be, I'm not there, I believe. Then afterwards we'll be start discussing about the life of Sri Ramakrishna based on the philosophical discussions. Sri Ramakrishna, great master. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.